Josh Hennig here on 97.3 ESPN. And of course, the PFL playoffs are just around the corner as August comes up. And of course, we got the defending, the queen herself, PFL women's lightweight champion, Kayla Harrison, joining us here on 97.3 ESPN. Kayla, how you doing this summer?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me back on.
I appreciate you jumping on. And, the last time we talked, you were defending again, you were fighting in Atlantic City, and now you've, as we expected, to be in the playoffs. So, what is your mindset now that, okay, I'm another step toward the ultimate goal? Like, it is, how does that mindset go? Explain to the audience a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, the mindset stays the same. I have something to prove. I have to go out there. I have to win this next fight, and then the fight after that. There's one more checked off the list, and I'm just, everything stays the same. I keep training hard. I keep staying ready and preparing for Jenna, but ultimately preparing to be the best in the world,
And those are two different things, right? It's two different aspects of that checklist, right? You're preparing for your next opponent, but you're also not just trying to be the best version of yourself, quote unquote. It's trying to be the best in the world, which you can be.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I think that, I have to fight whoever's in front of me. I have to take those steps and check those boxes. But ultimately, I feel my biggest competition is myself. And as long as I do everything right, I stay the course. I stay humble. I stay hungry. I keep training hard. I think that time will tell and time will show that I have what it takes to be the best in the world. That's the goal. On my worst day, not just one time, not just, the stars align. I want to be so good that on my worst day, if I have 105 fever, I'm still the best in the world. I can still go out there and beat up anybody.
It's funny you said that because we were just talking this week, earlier on the week, about the Jordan flu game, about how Jordan goes out there, he's got the flu, he still has this amazing game. And that's, to me, the difference between, the athlete who shows up to get a paycheck and the athlete who shows up because they desire greatness, is that it doesn't matter what's going on that day. In your mind, it's, I need to be the best version of myself no matter what the environment is.
Yep, exactly. And that's, that's been my mentality and that's been my mindset from a very young age. I mean, I don't remember ever being satisfied with mediocrity or satisfied with second or third or, I did okay. I want to go out and I want to dominate and I want to instill my will. And to be quite frank, I'm not sure that's something that can be taught. I think that that's just an internal thing. And I do want to be the Jordan. I wanted to be the Jordan of judo. I want to be the Jordan of MMA. Like that's what I aim for. That's the level of success that I desire. And, people always get so like, this causes a lot of stir, right? Everyone always gets like, oh, you're not Valentina. You're not Amanda. You're not Rose. You're not Cyborg. You're not. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. But like, this is my personal goal for myself. This is my personal confidence, my belief in myself. Like, who are you to say what my goals should or shouldn't be? Like, I don't tell you that you shouldn't want to be the best, janitor, like whoever it is that's talking crap about me. Like, I'm not going to get there. I get that that's part of being a public persona, but it always like gives me a little chuckle when people say like, how dare you want to be great? Like, what?
But that isn't that part of the issue. The issue is that's what, as I said, separates. What separates people like you from the people who can never do what you do is the fact that you believe and you strive for that greatness, whereas other people, let's be realistic, they're trying to bring you down to their level because they know they can never reach where you want to be and where you are and where you want to go. And to me, that's what separates someone like yourself who goes to the Olympics, dominates in judo, comes out to MMA undefeated, is that it's all mentality, it's all desire, it's all drive. And guess what? The people who say that stuff, they're saying it because guess what? They could never do what you do.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess this is my problem with the world and with society. Is like, I don't believe that based on my life and based on my history and based on everything I've been through, everything I've seen, I don't believe that people aren't capable of greatness. I don't believe in settling for the job that you don't like. I don't believe in being in a relationship you're not happy in. I don't believe in just going through the motions. You're right. Like, I can't comprehend the way some people think. And I dare you to try to be great. I dare you to live fearlessly. I dare you to be bold, because everyone has something that they're meant to do. Everyone has a purpose in life. Everyone has a goal or a dream or anything. And if you're so busy telling me that my goal is insane, then you're obviously not focused enough on yours. And you should be, because you deserve to go after what you want in life. I believe that that's everyone's right. I believe it's everyone's destiny. You deserve to be happy and to chase what makes you happy. Not even happy, but what brings you joy and peace. That's my mentality. And I think that, I understand misery loves company, but maybe I just keep being a light and chasing my dreams and encouraging others to chase their dreams, and I'll change the world a little bit.
Kayla Harrison, women's defending lightweight champion of the PFL, joining us here on 97.3 ESPN. Again, the PFL postseason starts August 13th and the 19th. 27th, Kayla fights on August 19th. You can watch it on ESPN, not ESPN Plus, ESPN is where you can catch Kayla fighting in the postseason next month. Now, Kayla, obviously one of the reasons why we're having this conversation is because you're doing more than just preparing for the playoffs. You're also trying to raise awareness and raise money for the Surfside Hardship Fund and the Shul of Bal Harbor Central Emergency Fund to help with the tragedy in Miami. So talk to the audience a little bit about why this is important to you and what they can do to get involved.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I found out about the building collapse while I was actually at my fight in Atlantic City, my last fight. And it sort of sat with me. It sat heavy with me. I remember being in Boston during the Boston Marathon bombing, and the fear that I had, and not knowing if my loved ones were safe, and not knowing if my friends were okay, and the panic that set in. And obviously it wasn't a terrorist attack, but the aftermath of a tragedy, the victims and the survivors and the missing people, that fear, it sat with me, and I was feeling a lot of empathy for the people who were going through that. And so I decided to say something after my fight. And I also really believe that charity starts at home, and I live in Florida now. I'm based in South Florida. It's not far from where I live. It's not far from where my kids live and play. And, I think that it's important that we lift these people up and we do our communal duty to help them in this time of need. So I'm making a donation. The PFL already made a $10,000 donation on my behalf. There's also a link on my foundation's website, which is fearlessfoundation.org. If you click donate, and you can go to from now until my fight on August 19th, anything that's donated will go directly to those two organizations.
And again, for people in our area, for example, they went through Hurricane Sandy years ago. So they're very well aware of how, something that's completely out of anyone's control can totally devastate somebody's life. So, to me, this is an important message to bring to people in South Jersey, because they know all too well what it's like to see something like that happen, and there's nothing they could have done to prevent it.
Yep, for sure. And I think it's, there are so many, I don't know, it kind of just like hits home for me a little bit, like you don't expect something like this to happen in the US. You don't expect something like this to happen right down the street from you. So for me, it's important that I give back to my community and I do my part. And as an athlete, as a role model, as an entertainer, as someone who's in the spotlight, it's my job, it's my duty, it's my responsibility to make sure that I use this platform in a positive way.
Again, it's the Surfside Hardship Fund and the Shul of Bal Harbor Center Emergency Fund. Tell the folks again where they can go to get involved.
Yep. So you can donate directly to them. But there's also a link on my foundation's website, which is fearlessfoundation.org. If you click donate right there, anything that's donated from the time of my last fight until the time of this next fight on August 19th, all of those funds are going to go directly to those two organizations.
And again, the date of Kayla's next fight is August 19th. You can watch it on ESPN Plus, the PFL postseason 2021 edition. The women's lightweight champion defending, joining us here on 97.3 ESPN. We mentioned the Olympics a little bit. I got to ask you, as you see the Olympics going on, is there any fond memories that you're having watching these young ladies go out there? Is there a part of you that's almost like, I remember what that was like? Any of those kind of things going on for you?
For sure. I think that, it is always going to hold a special place in my heart. I had two great experiences at the Olympics, not only winning America's first gold, then defending, but just the journey to get there, the people who are part of that journey, my teammates, my coaches, my training partners, my doctors and physical therapists, and all the people you meet and all of the places you go. For sure, I have really fond memories of the Olympics, and it's been exciting to watch and see the next generation kind of rise up to the occasion. It's obviously been a very tumultuous road to get there, and these athletes have been through a lot, but I'm proud of them. I'm proud of the resilience of athletes, and I think that it just speaks volumes about the Olympic movement. It's something that even in times of war, even in times of a global pandemic, we can still all come together and cheer on the best in the world at what they do. One of my favorite things about the Olympics, and something I try to remember, is it's not the motto, which is Citius Audius Fortius, which means faster, higher, stronger. It doesn't mean fastest. It doesn't mean highest. It doesn't mean strongest. It's all about going out there and giving your absolute best and being the best possible version of yourself. And I mean, those are mottos and ideals that I live by to this day.
Yeah, the other thing that's interesting to me is that, in the Olympics, you were in two completely different cities that you competed in. And so the other part for these athletes is not like, they're staying in their country to compete. They're literally going somewhere else to compete. So it's like, that's a whole nother level of like having to focus and regather yourself. And on top of, oh, by the way, we're still dealing with what we are with this COVID-19 stuff and everything. It's like, it's just so many things going on that it always fascinated me about how, like, for someone like you, you're going to a different country, a different part of the world, and you got to stay focused. It's just so much going on for an Olympic athlete to have that kind of success.
Yeah, for sure. A lot goes into play. I think that it's definitely the biggest stage in the world and one of the toughest. The Olympics have so much prestige because it is so difficult to get there. It is so difficult to rise to the top. And there is a lot that goes into it, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of years behind the scenes, a lot of people behind the scenes. It takes a village to raise an Olympian, and I think that that's what makes it so special. You don't do it to be famous. You don't do it for money. You don't do it really for anything other than, the pursuit of excellence.
She is Kayla Harrison, the defending women's lightweight champion. You can follow her on Twitter at Kayla H. Of course, the website is KaylaHarrison.com. And of course, everything that people donate through her next fight, which is August 19th, she will be giving to the relief efforts for Surfside Hardship Fund and the Shul of Bal Harbor Central Emergency Fund to help the folks who have suffered greatly down there in the Miami area. Because at the end of the day, some things, like you said, charity starts at home, and you got to help the people in your own community before you worry about anybody else. So, Kayla, this is great stuff. I appreciate you jumping on. I always enjoy talking to you because I feel like there's something that you say in every conversation that's like going to uplift somebody. And that's one of my favorite things is that, like you said, you've talked about before, you and I talked about, you want to inspire people. You want to help people. And to me, that's a greater calling than just being a great fighter, is that you're doing something with that platform. And that to me is what the biggest, most awesome thing is.
Absolutely. I think that, punching people in the face and wanting to be the best at it is really cool. And I get a lot of enjoyment personally out of it. But bigger than that, bigger than anything is the lasting legacy that I leave behind. And I think that starts with my kids. I think that starts with, how I choose to carry myself as a human being, as a person, as a champion. And I think that it's how I use my platform, whether I use it for selfish gains, and whether I use it to make a lot of money and do all this and be famous and party and that, or I can inspire people. I can inspire a generation. I can change the world. I can help put an end to child sexual abuse. I can help my community. These things are what matter to me, and that's how I want to be remembered.
And of course, people can watch you as you are on your journey to being the greatest woman fighter of all time. August 19th, PFL postseason. People can watch you on ESPN television. And Kayla Harrison joined us here on 97.3 ESPN. Kayla, thanks again for jumping on. Enjoy the fight camp and keep being great.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We'll talk soon.